Huge road win, big win. Probably collectively the best game this group has played since the beginning of the season. Would have loved to have seen that game play out without the 14-point spotted first quarter, but the turnovers, their defense is really good. They created opportunities and they get credit for those. But beyond proud of how the guys responded to go on, really and just play those guys like we did from that point on. I guess 48-3 to hold them to the total we did defensively, and to be able to finish in the end zone the way we did offensively, and really honestly, even special teams, nothing flashy, but very very sound game. No big mistakes, good coverage, punted them inside the 10. A lot of positives. Really felt like we seen improvement in all three phases week to week, and we needed it most in this particular game on the road against the defending champs, and that's exactly what we got. So proud of the progress that we've made, how the guys have just continued to battle to get better. The energy on the sideline was amazing all night. If you've seen the videos of the dudes dancing, I mean, they're just having a blast playing ball with that together, and I love that about this group. I think they deserve it with all they've been through and the work they've given us. It fills your heart to see them have fun. And the fact that we're competing here for some very meaningful games to finish this season is even more exciting for them. Wyoming coming in, different kind of look, probably more similar to what we saw with Colorado State a few weeks back. Very powerful, very big, ball control, field position control, physical downhill football team, play phenomenal defense, not afraid to challenge you in man coverage and get up in your face, something we don't see all the time. Maybe one of the best linebackers in the country, running from sideline to sideline in a big physical front on both sides of the ball. So obviously the game is huge for us. We need to continue to stay out in front and control our destiny to get to the championship game in a few weeks. And we just can't have a letdown after a big emotional win on the road, because these guys are well coached. And we saw at the first of the year that they're more than capable of putting up a lot of points and playing great defense. Even though they've lost a couple conference games, they've played well at times in spurts. I thought they had every chance to beat Boise the other night without the interception. They're going down and moving the ball well. They put Colorado State in a bind all day long and just ran the ball at them in a way that we weren't able to do. So they're very, very dangerous, and it's another huge game for us. At this point in the season, they're all huge, but they present a lot of problems, and I think Craig Bowles does a phenomenal job. Has had an unreal career, and they're going to be ready to play. And I know they're fighting for bowl eligibility, and so they're going to be dangerous for us in a lot of different ways. What questions you got,
Coach? Al down at KBNU. Can I just have you comment on the senior group, because I guess it is a senior night, and these guys the guys who've been here for a while have had some success, and they had the year like they had last year. How important do you think this year has been to them when you think back on what's happened?
Well, I think what they've been through just in the last couple of years, it obviously didn't go the way they wanted it to, and then they probably weren't real excited to see me walk in the room the first day I was announced, and that was okay. I've been honest with them. I get it. I think they had things they wanted to see done, and it didn't. But I'd love to see them have a great day. They're going to remember Saturday one way or the other for the rest of their life. You remember that last game at home, you just do. And senior day is special, so I'd love for it to be a day that they can really remember as a pleasant experience. A game where we play well, families cheer, and taking the next step towards getting in a championship game. And there's may not be a group that deserves it more than they do, considering all they've been through. They've responded remarkably, in my opinion. Could have made this transition extremely difficult because it didn't go the way they wanted. They'd been through a lot. But this season's possible because of the 16 guys that chose to come back play another year, chose not to transfer, and they chose to buy in and show true leadership on a weekly basis for a bunch of guys they really didn't know. Now, we've become close, love them to death. I think our locker room is extremely close, but that's been a process, and it didn't happen overnight. And they get the credit for it because they could have fought it every step of the way, and we'd be looking at a completely different season.
But you must have done something pretty fast to get them on the right track fast. I mean, when you think back, is there something you really feel like happened real quickly for these guys?
There's no big aha moment. I just felt like God brought me here, and I've tried to stay out of his way. He brought me here for a reason. Just tried to be me, transparent, love on these guys, give them a chance to come together as a group, bring energy and a staff that was willing to spend time with them and love on them as well. And they just responded in a phenomenal way. They get the credit. I didn't do anything crazy. Just came to be me, and I felt like God was leading me here the whole way, and he's blessed the time and energy we put into it. And I think the egos checked at the door, and just a bunch of guys coming together, working together on a daily basis has been a good formula for success.
Coach Anderson, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. I mean, really what stood out to me more than anything the last couple of games is just the way that you guys have shored up that run defense. It's been phenomenal the last 3 games. Do you credit that more to the guys just be getting more comfortable with Coach Bandit's schemes, individual improvement? What do you think are the biggest factors to that transformation?
There's a lot of factors that play in. Clearly, the guys are playing really well at this point. A lot of one-on-ones that we won in those areas, and there was a lot of different guys. You don't see just one jersey number showing up. When I was going through and kind of cutting up the tape, it was Marcus one play, it was Phil one play, it was Holly one play, Byron, Justin Rice. I mean, everybody got involved. Everybody made plays, and a lot of those in, even Kessie, I mean, young dude in there, made one of the biggest plays in the backfield for one of our tackles for loss. So I think it's been, technically we're getting better and better as guys just continue to improve at the drill work and the techniques that we work on every day. But schematically, I thought the defensive staff did a great job over the last few weeks of really playing to our strengths, attacking the fronts and the schemes that we're seeing, very specific details of what we want to get done in certain looks. And our guys have listened to the plan, prepared, and gone in and executed it real well. So a lot of people deserve credit. You gain confidence with making plays as well. I think there's a level of confidence right now that we can play against big body guys that are built well, as long as we use our quickness and speed and really, really good technique. They got out of the gate on us a couple times, but to be able to hold them, honestly, to the number that we did, I don't think any of us saw that coming.
So to go along with what Jason just asked, then against Wyoming, you kind of know what's always coming from them. You're just going to have to be really physical in this game. Is that a fair way to put it?
I think this game looks a lot like Colorado State. They don't disguise a whole lot. Now, they obviously have the ability to bootleg and play action pass with a lot of bodies built into the box, but they build a very big physical team. They have a big physical quarterback that can run and can really run. They pound it at you, and then they are able to tie you down with the run game and throw the ball over the top. So I think it's a little more straightforward in the sense that last week you were spreading 5 guys out all over the place and having to defend them in space, where this one is Craig's going to come in and find out real quick, can you play physical football? We were tested this way against UNLV. We were tested this way against Colorado State. I think it looks similar. There's obviously some subtle differences, but it's going to be a challenge. Can we play that brand of football and play it well, and then defend the big shot play when it comes? That's where you hold your breath. And hopefully we can. And if you remember back to Colorado State, they got open a couple times and just didn't hit them, and it ultimately made a big difference in the final score of the game. We're going to have to hang on and do a great job of that this week. And they challenge you in ways that are physical, but also one-on-one matchups.
So it's their style. I mean, they haven't won as many conference games as they'd like to, but they've been in most of the games. Or at least you feel like they have. So it's kind of that style that keeps them in the game in a lot of ways.
I think it does. It shortens the game. A lot of people can't play that physical nature, and they're able to stay ahead of the chains and move first. Again, a quarterback, when they settled in on the quarterback, he's run the ball really well. I think if you look at the Colorado State game, a couple of the explosive runs, he's using his legs, or even the ability for him to run, ties down another defender. They've got a big, really good wideout that if you man him up, and you tie down bodies in the box, now you got a big long guy that can make the big explosive catch. So it's just, again, it's changing style from what you saw the week before back to a pound you, play action shot type of offense. And that's tough for an offense to go from a 5-out team 2 weeks in a row. We've seen air raid 5-out 2 weeks in a row. Now you're back to, here it comes, 22 guys in there all breathing on the ball. And it really, you have to be very, very disciplined. Physical and discipline are keys. Very similar to playing Air Force, Vegas, and Colorado State in those areas.
Coach Anderson, that Jacob South got bent over pretty badly last week. Is his injury as bad as it looked? Because it did not look good.
I think he's definitely day to day. We kind of have to prepare without him and be excited if we get him back. He probably was the most significant in terms of injuries during the game. Everybody else looks like they're fine. I think it's gonna come down to a game time decision for him, and can he be effective? You know, the great thing, Cole Motes is playing really, really well. He gave up one sack that turned into a fumble, but he played very solid the rest of the game, especially late when we needed to run the ball in some areas. Had a couple pancakes and some really key blocks, protected Logan. So, I mean, as much as I'd love to have South back, I've been very, very pleased with how Cole has played, considering he was a tight end or something defensive end coming out of high school. So he's really developed well.
Yeah, one more about Wyoming. You've just touched on it a little bit about the linebacker, Muma, and then the running back, Valladay. Those are the two guys. I mean, Valladay's led the conference 2 years in a row in rushing the ball. So can you talk about those two guys?
Same thing. I think the linebacker is as good as anybody in the country at that position. He runs well. He's a downhill player. He literally makes plays from sideline to sideline, and he appears to be just super, super sharp in terms of football IQ. You can see him communicating, keeps him in the right spot, and he just doesn't miss a step. Running back, they play physical. He runs physical, and he's got speed to get to the end zone if you don't do a great job of maintaining leverage on him. Style of offense fits him perfectly with a quarterback that can run the ball. I think that adds another dimension to that. You know, if the quarterback wasn't mobile and couldn't run, you might be able to attack the running back with another body, but you've got to make sure you always account for the quarterback, and that makes for a challenge. I think both are big factors in the game. We have to minimize Muma's ability to get downhill and play behind the line of scrimmage. Hopefully, get some misdirection going at him, make him put his eyes in some conflict, and then the front is going to dictate really both sides of the ball. If we can play well up front on both sides, then it allows you to stay in the kind of numbers and down and distances you want to be in.
Can you make a quick comment too on the Bolitnikov semifinals now for DT? I mean, we've talked a lot about him, but I mean, that's a top 10 in the nation, at least right now, as far as
yeah, he's had that an amazing year. It's no surprise to me that he's in that list. He should be. It would be crazy if he wasn't. I believe he's a finalist. I think he should make the top three with the type of season we're having based off the plays he's had to make to get that done, with the consistency that he has on a weekly basis. He's one of the best, if not the best in the country, hands down, in my opinion. And hopefully, as things continue to narrow down, he'll be in that mix.
So, Coach Anderson, Wyoming's defense they're solid year in and year out. So ultimately, what is it about that scheme that makes it so effective?
Well, when you start with the linebacker that's in the middle of the defense, getting everybody lined up and making play after play after play. I don't know what he runs in the 40, but it's fast. He can get from sideline to sideline and really bottle up anything. They're long in the back end and willing to get up in your face and play competitive man-to-man coverage. That's going to be something we're going to have to defeat that. We don't see that every week. A lot of people are not willing to play us in man coverage. We've seen it. I thought we stepped into that challenge against Air Force when they did play us in man coverage in a big way. We've seen mostly zone. In the Colorado State game when they played us man, we're able to attack it. It's going to come into play again this week. I just think Coach Bowles, obviously, his career speaks for itself. They don't beat themselves. They're where they're supposed to be, doing exactly what they're asked to do. They're not afraid to mix it up and compete. And they've got a front that can make you very, very uncomfortable. And if they can keep bodies off the linebacker, he makes every play. So it is it's a very well built defense, and the numbers speak to what they do. They also are able to shorten the game a little bit. They're not playing a ton of snaps. They're gonna run the clock on offense and be smart about what they do and try to make sure their defense is fresh. So they get a lot of hats to the ball because they run to the ball. They don't play as many snaps as a lot of people.
I also have to ask about the whole, you guys are getting votes in both top 25 polls now. I mean, I know that's not something you think about a lot, but I know you mentioned on Saturday the guys maybe felt a little bit disrespected. You were underdogs on the road against San Jose State. So, I mean, how fun is it to see a little bit of, I don't know, vindication is the right word, but to see some kind of the fruits of their labors in getting some votes here?
You know, we just talk about trying to win each week. I'm not sure they expected to be an underdog, and we didn't talk about it at all. I just heard a couple guys making comments about it. I never addressed that we were or weren't. I had a lot of respect for the team we're going to play. Did not expect the game to go quite like it did. We got some momentum going and played well, and I think capitalized on some mistakes that they made. But, you know, we're just really trying to focus on 1 week at a time. If we get votes, great. We want to take care of our business, getting the championship game. That's our only focus.
Yes, I'll start. Phil, Al Lewis from KBNU Radio in Logan, Utah. I'm always interested in, you know, how you got to Utah State, transfer from Michigan. Can you go kind of through the story of playing there and then being here and how you got here?
Yeah, all right. So pretty much I ended up graduating from the University of Michigan after 4 years there. A big part of that was just, you know, my mom really wanted me to walk away from the University of Michigan, at least with my scholarship in hand, you know, so that life after football for me is a lot better. But in terms of coming to Utah State, you know, it was just an opportunity that pretty much just fell into my lap. A couple of days after being in the transfer portal, Coach Al and his staff reached out to me and, you know, they were interested. So right away, probably for like my first couple of days, I built a really strong relationship with them and the defensive staff. So, you know, creating that bond with them was really good for me. And, you know, I kind of wanted to go somewhere that, you know, that they really cared about their players. And I felt like this was the place for me. And that was a big decision for me to make, to come here.
Then, Philip, this is senior night, so we're centering on some of these guys who've been here for a while. And I guess you're listed as a junior. I guess you could play another year and have another senior night or whatever. But how has this group group of transfers in like they have this year? How's that worked out?
You know, it was actually a really big shock for me because as soon as I came in, you know, these guys, they brought me in as one of their own immediately. Like I said, the atmosphere here at Utah State is actual real brotherhood. And, you know, these guys take you in as one of their own immediately. Like, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to do anything. You know, you just come in with a level head and, you know, they'll accept you right away.
Philip, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. I have to ask you about the run defense because you guys have really elevated that level of your game. Probably the biggest team improvement than any other area on the entire team. So, how fun has it been to see that come together the last couple of games?
It's been really great for our defense. You know, that's a big point of emphasis for us these past couple of weeks. So, you know, being able to do it in practice, like from the beginning of the year, from the summer, and to finally see it translate into the season and in games is really huge for us. And I feel like the coaching staff has done a great job with pushing us and to making ourselves believe that we can do it out there on Saturday nights.
So a follow-up to that question, how much better equipped do you feel going into a game against a team like Wyoming, which that's their primary focus is establishing that running game? Valladay's been there for a long time. Mm-hmm. How much more equipped do you feel you are to handle that kind of an offense than you were early in the season?
I feel like we'll be able to come out there strong, especially with our front seven. You know, I feel like these past couple games have given us a big confidence booster in ourselves. And I feel like now we're starting to be more confident out there on the field, and it's starting to really show. And I know Wyoming has a really strong run game, and they're really big up front. So I'm excited to see how we'll match up against them.
Well, have you played? It seemed like in the San Jose game, we noticed you more. And obviously, Doug just mentioned your stats. Did you play more in this game, or do you play I mean, how many snaps do you get compared to the guys who start the game, maybe the guys who play behind on the defensive line? How does that work out?
We rotate after every 3 plays. So I get about 20, 30 plays a game. But yeah, I feel like the reason I've showed up more in this game than past others is just because, like I said, we're starting to be more confident up front. And I feel like I'm starting to get a more confident feel with the game and just be more comfortable with this defense.
This came to my mind. You came from Michigan, the winningest program of all time in football. So to be on a winning team this year, you would have expected that. We didn't have a winning team last year.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel what these guys have been through to build from 1-5 to where they are right now?
Yeah. Although I wasn't here last season, like just being around the atmosphere of these guys, it's a great feeling right now to be 8-2, and like we really didn't expect much coming into the season. Like I said, we just knew what we were capable of, and we had a level head coming into the season. And I feel like we really just stayed low and just came out to surprise everyone this season.
Usually I ask these guys after games, you get behind in these games and then you still come back and win. Do you ever sit there thinking, okay, we've been here before, we can do this? I mean, there's no concerns about getting behind.
Yeah. So, coming from Michigan, we were always the team in the lead. And then there was those games where we were actually trailing behind teams. But like everyone's like confidence level from that point, it goes down. But being here, just being in that position of trailing, there's no worry in my mind that I know our offense is going to be there for us and the defense is going to be there for the offense. So, I feel like we really hold a strong bond with each other and we hold each other accountable.
You see a lot of great players at Michigan. What's your evaluation of Devin Tompkins, who plays for us, and the way he's played this year?
The guy plays like he's 7 foot tall, man. He's running on the field making plays. It's ridiculous. Every time I see a great play from him now, it's just like I'm not even shocked anymore. I just expect it from him.
Well, I guess I'll start the same place I started with. Philip, give us your transfer story about how you went Washington State to TCU, I think it was, or you were at Tacoma, and then you tell us about your story, Quazell.
Yeah, I was originally committed to Washington State, decommitted, and signed to TCU coming out of high school. 4 years later, ended up at Utah State playing under Coach Anderson.
Can you tell us why you came?
Really just I feel like I needed new scenery, new beginnings, a fresh start at a new school. So coming here was the best decision I ever made.
Utah State recruited the Northwest some under the previous coaching staff. Did they ever talk to you before you went to Washington State or TCU or anything?
Yes, sir. I had an offer from Utah State coming out of high school.
Okay. And I guess I need to ask you, what did you think of Coach Patterson getting fired at TCU this year? What do you think? He's a former Aggie assistant coach.
Yeah, obviously it sucked for not only Coach Patterson, but the Horned Frog community. I know he's greatly appreciated over there, and he'll be fairly missed.
Quazell, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. You guys have really come together quite well together as an offensive line through some adversity this year with some injuries. You guys struggled a little bit against Colorado State, but you've only given up maybe 4 sacks since then. So what do you feel has been the key to the improvements in your guys' pass protection since that game?
Just communication, making sure everybody's on the same page. We have a lot of people in and out of some games. So as long as we have our communication and make sure everybody's on the same page, things will start coming together, trickling down together. As you can see, these past couple of weeks since Colorado State, it's gotten way better. So key is the communication.
Let me ask you, Quazell, to comment on a couple of guys on the offensive side. Quarterback Bonner. I mean, Logan just continues to be so physical. How he keeps playing through all of that stuff when he goes down. And then what's your thoughts on Devin Tompkins, who was a Bolitnikoff finalist or a semifinalist, make it today?
First off, both of them are absolutely amazing. I love playing with both of them. Logan, he's tough, like tough as nails, man. This dude, you see him game after game get knocked down, and sometimes it look like, oh, you don't know if he's gonna come back in, but he always comes back in and he kills it every time. And Devin, he's amazing as well. I've never seen a receiver his height play the way he does. It's amazing just seeing him do what he does. As Phil mentioned earlier, he plays like he's 7 feet tall, and you don't see that often with guys his height. So it's amazing to see a walking highlight reel every Saturday.
No, you guys don't live on your 8-2 record. You're going to be 1-0. That's how you guys have to approach Wyoming, have to approach New Mexico to finish. But what's your thoughts about how it's come together so far this year to be at 8-2 and winning the games like you have on the road? I mean, 5 games where you've all been double-digit behind and win on the road.
To me, I feel like it just shows how we feel about each other as a team. The tightness, the relationships we all have with each other to go in, game out, to be where we are through the adversity, through everything that we've been through. It just shows how we are as a group. We never give up. We always keep fighting, and that's what I love about this group so much. We've gone through a lot of things, a lot of adversity, and you never really see it come melting down. Whether offense messes up or makes it hard for defense, or defense does that for offense, we never get on each other. We always feel like we have a fighting chance, and that's what I love about this team.
Ozell, you guys, I mean, it had to felt really good to score 48 points against San Jose State. Those guys returned basically their entire defensive team from last year. 3 guys that were first-team all-conference. Those guys really put the clamps on a very good Nevada offense the week before that. So how much did it mean to you as an offensive line and just an offense in general to go out there and score more points than anybody has been able to score against them this season?
First off, we couldn't have done that without defense. The way that the defense played throughout the whole entire game was amazing from start to finish. It gave us great field position, or excellent field position. Just you couldn't ask for it any better. And from then on, we just had to do our part. As you can see, we were down 14-0 at one point, but defense held our backs and kept us in the game as much as we could. And once we finally got on pace, then we did what we do.